Five, four, three, two, and one. Good day to one and all. This is the recording of the solution focused therapy session with Royce Robinson and Wendell Sims. I'm serving as counselor in this particular session. Uh, Royce or Brother Royce, how would you like to be addressed?
Royce is fine.
Okay. Royce, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
I hope that you're doing well. How are you doing today? How are you feeling?
Doing okay. Just having some little issues, emotional, I guess you could say, concerning some things. Yeah, but doing fine.
Okay. You're in the right place, I think, and we are solution focused therapy is what we plan to do, whereby we focus on the solution, not so much the problem. But I do want you to be able to express yourself right now. You said you're having some emotional uh, issues about some things. What really can you give me more detail as to what brings you to my office today?
Yeah. You know, my I didn't grow up with a dad. With my dad in the home. Let me say that. Uh, he and my mom kind of split up when I was in the first grade. We got back together in the ninth grade. And so we tried to form a relationship, and I think we did good. I think we were very fortunate in terms of the relationship we had. Um, and in fact, I remember him even saying that at one point in our life, he was able to say that he and I were closer than some of the children that he actually raised, which was four girls by his first wife. My mom was the second woman in his life that he had a child from, and I was the last. He didn't have kids everywhere, but I think I still struggle with, um, just being accepted by him, maybe in full. Once he passed away, going through some of his personal belongings with my stepmother, I found out that I was not named in his will as one of his children, and so that kind of bothered me. And it took me back to those years where we were not together, and I just kind of had some thoughts about that. It's like, man, you never really owned me, or did you ever really own me? And so there's been some times where I've felt like, um, maybe a kid, now an adult, but a kid that never really got owned by his father. You know,
Okay. You like to share any more or don't want to?
no, that's it for now. I mean, just the fact that even though we had physical interaction, just seeing that legal document did something to me. It just kind of bothered me a little bit. Even, like I said, at his death, I was the only person by his bedside, and I was fortunate for that. I counted that as a blessing because we were really that close. We really were. We were close. We shared a lot of things together. But just seeing that legal document where my name was not listed as one of his biological children took me all the way back to that little first grade kid, you know, and just kind of bothered me that he wasn't there for me to hash that out with him. He was gone now; he was dead, and so
Right.
just not being able to resolve that, man.
Unresolved. So I can understand your feelings of abandonment or rejection, perhaps. I think we've all experienced some level of rejection or feeling left out. The question is now, how do we approach dealing with that?
Gotcha.
And is there any, uh, how did you feel about the positive times that you spent with him?
Great. I guess just like any kid, when you know you any kid that grew up without the father has, I think, a desire to want to be with their father. And so finally, when I got with him, of course, I'm still a kid. I'm in the ninth grade, so I'm not approaching him with, where were you? Why weren't you there? It was like, man, I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Um, and so I was fine with that. I think I probably, um, I just, I relished in the fact that he was there and we could spend time together. There were some things that I probably looked for that I didn't get. We didn't go to football games together, baseball games. We didn't do stuff like that I was hoping for. Um, but I was glad when he came to pick me up, and I got a chance to spend the night with him now. And you know, um, I remember, I remember having an event at school that he could come to. After first through the ninth grade, I was an active kid, so I was in sports, and I remember imagining him being in the football stadium, watching me. He just didn't tell
Wow.
me he was there.
Wow.
Yeah, and looking up in the stands. If I make a tackle or a play, I would look up and beat my chest or something. And in my mind, I know he's watching. He got to be up there somewhere. And then fast forwarding to the ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, he's actually there. So I no longer have to imagine him being there. He's actually there now. And
Sounds like a dream come true. Wow. Sounds like a dream come true. Yes.
exactly, that's a good way of putting it. I would say the exact same thing. It was a dream come true.
And that's good. And why don't we focus on and maybe share this an answer to this question? Were there more positive uh incidences you had occur with him than negative?
In fairness, I would have to
Okay.
say it was. Yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, once we reconnected, I remember very few, bad incidents. Everything was really good after that. Now that I think about it, it was because we
Okay.
never we never separated again. We were always together after that. From that point on, we were always together.
So would you say just the documentation is the main thing that brings about these feelings of disassociation, rejection, etc.?
I would have to say so. Yeah, yeah. Recently I visited his gravesite for the first time since he passed in 2003, literally about 2 weeks ago. And I found myself talking to him at the gravesite, and I brought that up. Hey, Dad, found this out after you had gone, man, and that kind of bothered me. And I literally was standing there at the gravesite having that conversation with him. You know,
And did you did that help your situation, or did that hinder your emotions? You say.
I I think it helped. To be honest with you, I think it helped. I think I felt like I got a chance to address it. Even though he wasn't there to respond or give me a reason. It would have been nice if he would have said, "Man, that was during a time, Royce, when I was, whatever, and man, I just never went back and got it done." That would have been nice, but it helped for me to be able to say it to who I felt like was there. You know,
Right, I understand.
yeah.
Understand. Wow. Well, moving forward, uh, it sounds like you have pretty much brought a great deal of sense of closure to the situation, and also a remedy to handling your emotions by focusing on the positive times that you've shared with him, recognizing that those positive times seem to outweigh this one incident and document. How are you feeling about that as a potential solution?
I hadn't thought about it before then, but that day at the cemetery, 2 weeks ago, I think it was now. Um, that possibly was my closure, because after that it did feel a little liberating or freeing to no longer carry that animosity, so to speak. Maybe. Uh,
Great,
yeah,
great.
yeah, and I didn't expect that to happen, but I think that's what happened.
All right, all right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, when you first encountered these strong negative emotions about the situation and the discovery of your name not being mentioned in the will till now, at the conclusion of this session, where are you now in terms of your emotions? Scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10, 10 being the
10,
better.
10, 10 being very much solution based, 10 being I'm feeling better, feeling greater, versus maybe 1, I'm still down there in the.
Well, I tell you what, when I found the document, I was a 0.
Understandably.
I was at a 0.
Yes, sir.
Um, but I I would have to say, um, I'm probably a 9. I'm probably a
Well,
9.
that's great.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna save the 10 till I see him in heaven, and then look here.
Yes.
I know
Yes,
what
sir.
you did. uh, but
Wow.
I would have to say that day at the cemetery got me to a 9.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's great.
yeah.
Well, are there any other questions you have for me, or anything that I could do uh, here in this session?
No, I think this has been a great help to me. I think being able to talk that through and actually paying attention to that visit at the cemetery that I may not have paid as much attention to as I thought. I think that was very helpful.
All right. Okay. Outstanding. And thank you for coming in. And you can find some final documents to sign on your way out. And of course, you know how to contact me. You know how to contact my office if we need to schedule another session on any issues that you may have moving forward. But
Sounds
I have to congratulate you. I have to congratulate you on coming to uh, a number 9 from 0 to 9. That's
absolutely.
outstanding. That's very impressive.
Thank you so much, and thank you for
All
your
right.
time. I really appreciate you.
Likewise. Thank you. You're quite welcome.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir.